So this is the next stage and of the horse's head, and what I'm going to do is just work in a little more detail around the eyes, the nostrils and the mouth, now that the clay has dried out and firmed up a little. So the first area I'm going to work over is the eyes. So I'm going to use I'll have these tools with me in class, but they're probably not in your kit. But you can see how they have a small flat edge, and on this side they have a curved edge. What you can use for a lot of this is just a coffee stirrer. So a wee coffee stirrer like this can be quite useful just for getting into those small bits. So now I want to work on the eye. What I'm going to do is try to make the eyeball feel more round by just, and with there's a wee tool you have now. I've given my one to somebody in class last week, but you'll have a tool with a wee shovel end. So if you get that wee shovel end and just press in there, and then press in here, that is going to give you a rounder shape of an eyeball. I'm also going to do that. See if I can get that light on. So I'm just trying to get the feeling of the eyeball being smaller and rounder. I'm just doing me flick ups. And before you do this, if you have a wee look and see if you feel like your eye needs to move further back or further forward, this is a good point in time to try and correct that slightly by, like, say if I wanted this eye to move back slightly, just would take slightly more off this edge, and if I wanted it to move forward, take more off this edge. So now it's feeling a wee bit rounder, and I wanted it slightly smaller, so I've done that. And then I will go to there would be the tear duct there. I'm just going to run that tool down there. The other wee tool that's handy for at this stage would be the wee tool that looks like this, and it's quite good as well for cleaning up wee areas. Just taking a wee bit more away there, and for helping you get that nice round fill to the eyeball. I don't have it beside me now, but it's also useful to have a small paintbrush and clean water and a cloth, and you can use a clean, damp paintbrush for smoothing that eyeball when you're finished with it. So the next thing I want to look at is, so this line at the eye, I want that eyebrow to finish. So this clay that you've brought on here, if you think of that coming down, just finishing where the eye finishes. I noticed some people were bringing this eyebrow way down here. This eyebrow will finish where the eye finishes. So you can use this wee hook tool to trim that off a little. And then just smooth that in. And I'm just giving that a wee press in there because that lower eyelid sits in more than the upper eyelid. The other thing to watch is, and I think it's the case here, watch that this angle doesn't come down too much. If this is too much of a slope downwards, it can make the horse seem sad. So I just want to lift that a wee bit. I'm just going to scrape this off, blend that in a wee bit more. So you've got your eyebrow there. Now this is only for So this is one of the things that if you've struggled with making any part of it, ignore this and you can just do it quite blocky. But if you're a wee bit more experienced and you want it to be that wee bit more accurate, if you think of this area here being round and then this area here being round as well, but it not all being one, that doesn't, and this will slope slightly this way. So the other thing you can look at is this jawline. If you were to continue that jawline round, you want these bulkier areas that you've added on here, you want them to blend in to here, because the ear's going to go on there and this all blends in. The other thing to bear in mind, see this cheekbone, this corner of the cheekbone, it sits out quite proud, but then it blends as you go up to the edge of the jawbone here, it'll blend in. So it goes from prominent to graduating in thinner to the jawbone. So then I just want to soften this. So I added that on, but I hadn't blended it. It needed to be blended a little more. So then just keep that clean. And I'm just going to put a wee extra depth there. Smooth that. And blend that a wee bit. Then this blending is nearly better done with a damp, clean paintbrush for blending those wee fine areas around the eye. So, and then I'll just check that I've got my diagonal line in, going from the forehead across that plane towards the nose. Okay, so then we'll move down to the nostril. So general guide, if you think your nostril being about the same size as your eye, the distance from here to here of your eye, I can see that my nostril is a little large, and if I run a straight line, that nostril wants to line up parallel with that. So I can see there that this needs to be lifted slightly just to put that eye and nostril on the same plane, and then eye and the nostril there. So that brings it into a better size. So I've checked the size of it and that it lines up. In the last video, when I talked about making the nostril, I described it as making a C. So the C is this outside part. To add a wee bit more detail, if you think of then changing that C to a 6. So the C is here, and then you just want to make that wee circle of the 6 there. And we can just clean that up a wee bit. So hopefully you can see that now looks more like a 6. And that's good. So then I'm just checking that this area of muscle that runs down to the top of the nostril, that being the highest point, just want to give that a wee bit more definition. If you think of running your hands down the bridge of the nose, and what that'll also do is that'll make sure your nostril is pushed back around the side of your face a bit more. Do that. Then when I've done that, what I'm also looking for is, so I just going to take a wee notch out there. That. So I've got that wee groove that I can, stroke my thumb into between the nostril and the nose. So there. Right, and then hopefully you can see the outline, how you've the bridge of the nose coming down, and then there's almost like a wee notch here. The other thing you can do at this point too is just check you've got enough chin on. I noticed the last time some people's the chin had disappeared, or you might need to add a wee bit extra clay on. So then I'm going to bring this. So the next bit I'm going to work on a wee bit of the detail would be the mouth. So in the last video I added on a wee bit of clay for that muscle there that runs from the top lip and kind of runs down. You can put it on like a C, but you definitely need a wee bit of muscle there. So that this area here should be more prominent than the surrounding areas. So then I'm taking this wee tool with a hook, and I'm just going to go in and take away a wee bit of this lower lip, because you nearly want the feeling that the upper lip hangs over, is more prominent than the lower lip at this corner. So I'm just putting, and then that kind of graduates until you can barely see the difference. The other thing is watch that your lip doesn't go too downhill. Keep the angle of your nose, because I can see here this line is wanting to go too downhill. I'm looking at the angle of the bridge of the nose. I'm going to bring that up slightly. Sorry, hold on. I'll just have to straighten that. Again, this can be, there can be a lot of variation in this bit, in that some horses have quite fleshy mouths, especially if they're sort of large cobby types. They'll have a very, there'll be a lot more meaty flesh around those lips. So if you're doing a portrait of a horse, do look at your photographs or your model. So I was just taking this and just taking a little away here to kind of give me that area there. So all then I need to do is just take a wee bit away of that chin. And again, that mouth is easier blended with a damp paintbrush. Then other areas I'm going to have a wee look at would be, I'm just going to get a wee tool. So in your toolkit, what do we say? In your toolkit, this is quite a handy wee tool. So whilst I've got a nice definition of that muscle here, I just feel that there's too much clay here, so I'm taking a little away, because there's a lovely wee soft indentation here, just this side of the nostril. So I'm just taking away a wee bit more there. And just stroke that in. I still feel that when I look at that, I can see that there's this mouth going downhill too much, so I'm just going to raise that up. Sorry, I just have to put my hand on it to balance it. Yeah, that's better. So I'm starting to get that wee groove in there. Oh gosh, let me see that. So I'm starting to get that wee groove in there. And again, using this tool, I'm just going to take a little away here. There we go. So that's a wee bit more detail on the mouth, the nostril and the eye. Okay.